Let's try this again. I honestly cannot figure out this intro. Don't you love my beautiful picture? So today I'm going to talk to you about my writing story. I don't know, we're going to try this out. It's my first face-to-camera video, and I think this is going to be interesting, so bear with me here. I started writing when I was 7 or 8. It was just a camp that I went to. A lot of little girls would just go to a camp just for the fun of it. I rode a few different horses there. It was my first time riding bareback, which I don't ride bareback very often now either. And I didn't do a lot. It was kind of learn how to care for the horse, just a bunch of grooming and stuff. And I did that for about a week or so. I went to a few lessons there too, and then I kind of stopped and I kind of got out of it. And I wasn't super passionate about it. Then I joined a sport called Modern Pentathlon when I was like 9 or 10, and that includes swimming, fencing, shooting a laser pistol, and running, and also horseback riding, which at the age that I was at, I wasn't allowed to compete in the horseback riding portion of it. And I wouldn't have been able to do it anyways because I had no experience, and I probably could just about do it now. I started riding at this barn for just a camp again. It was interesting because it was like a few weeks. I went and I got a helmet and I got to get on the horse like twice a day for a whole week, and then we got to do a bunch of like arts and crafts and learning and stuff. And so my parents had worked really far away, so I had to stay after, and I stayed with the manager's daughter, who was a rider and knew a very good amount about horses. So she taught me about all the colors, all the saddles parts, all the bridle parts, all the horse anatomy, so that I can basically name most of the parts of the horse now. I haven't really gone back into that, but I could probably name most of the parts of the horse because of that. And that got me into it even more. And then once I started getting even more serious into Modern Pentathlon, I needed to start taking lessons because as I got older, if I continued doing it, I would be able to compete. Now, I started at this barn where I rode probably once or twice a month. It wasn't very exciting, but because of that one camp that I did where I stayed afterwards, I learned how to walk and sort of trot. I cantered on the first day, but now that I go back and think about it, that probably wasn't good because I wasn't able to focus on the basics. And that whole time, I mean, I had so much fun. There was a smile on my face the whole entire time. And I was able to learn very, very basic stuff. Like, we didn't even really get into the steering or the equitation or any of that stuff. She kind of just put me right into it, started jumping small fences, and that was kind of my beginning. And then she wanted to compete in amateurs, but she couldn't compete while she was in amateurs while she was making money, so she had to shut down her whole lesson program, so we had to move. But during that time, I mean, I got a decent amount of experience. I rode 2 different horses. Both of them were very school mastery because I was such a beginner on it, and I didn't really learn. I mean, I learned how to walk, trot, and canter small jumps, right? But it wasn't a lot at all. So we moved to a different barn, which is the barn that I'm at now, and honestly, I love my trainer and the horses to death. And so I started at a very big barn, and we went and we took a lesson, and I was able to canter a jump in the first one, and I was able to sit the canter for the first time, which at the other barn I had been doing two-point cantering like a jockey almost, because I just couldn't figure out how to sit the canter and control the horse at the same time. So she got me right into sitting the canter, and she let me jump a few smaller jumps, but she was like, no, you don't know the basics, so we're going to go back and we're going to work on the basics. So I started riding on a regular basis, about once a week, most of the time. Sometimes I couldn't do it. But I started riding once a week, and we got the basics down. We got steering. We got to jumping about 2 foot while I was there. And then there was some stuff that happened, and my trainer had to switch barns into a smaller barn. So that was the one that she was at before, was a big general sporting facility, 52 horses at least. She was training horses every day, doing a bunch of lessons. She worked her butt off, and she's amazing at what she does. And now she's at a smaller barn, and she likes it a lot better now, and I like it a lot better because I moved with her over there, and I rode a few different horses. I started riding a lot less experienced horses, so that got me experience on those horses. Plus, I got to start jumping higher and working with her more. And so I gradually moved up to 6, and I was so excited, and I got to learn, I got way better EQ than I had before, or EQ, or however you say it. And we were able to start jumping higher, and I got to be able to ride more horses, because each of the horses that I was able to ride while I was at the smaller barn, and she was actually focusing more on the students that she was teaching instead of all of the horses she had to train, we were able to move up so much faster that I went from 2.6 to 2.9, and then super fast from 2.9 to 3 foot on the horse Pomona, which if you look at my Instagram account, she's the big warm blood, and then 3.3 on her as well. And now I jump 2.9 at a regular basis with Earl, and am able to canter so many jumps in a row, and I'm so happy that I can do that now because of the improvement that I've made from moving with this trainer and from everything that has happened. And I'm so thankful that I've been able to continue riding and getting this much better. No, I'm not at the place that I want to be. I mean, I want to jump 3 foot, like on a regular basis right now. That's my goal right now. And then I want to be able to jump Grand Prix height probably by the time I'm 20, I'm hoping. And I'm 12 right now, so that's 8 years. And by the rate that I'm going, I think that should be doable. That is my goal that I'm setting for myself, and I want to be able to ride and train horses for the rest of my life. Now, I've, like every other equestrian should have, unless you just started, I've had a lot of falls, and the falls that I've taken have never injured me badly. I've never broken a bone at all, not even from just regular life. The worst that I've gotten is I hit a jump with my back, and I got right back on it. I was fine. It just was a little bruised and a little tight for a while. But all of those falls have taught me stuff, and that's another thing that has taken me up, because the fails, though you may go and you may ride, you then, as if you fall off, you kind of lose your confidence, and you think, oh, I just went from here back down to here. But no, it's really, you went from here, maybe down to here because your confidence was shaken. But after that fall, you go all the way up here because you were able to learn from your mistake. And that, I think, is the most important part that most equestrians are able to get back on. If you're not a real equestrian, if you just fall off and don't get back on again, or are so afraid and never want to ride again, that you don't set goals for yourself, you don't try to improve, you just get on and you walk around and you're not confident to continue, or you fall off, like I said before, and you just don't want to get back on. Now, there may be moments where you're like, oh, I hurt myself really badly, or, oh, that was a really traumatic fall for both me and the horse. And you fall off, and you get totally out of whack because of that, and you take a little bit off. And that's completely fine as long as you're able to overcome your fears and keep going, because that's what's going to make you stronger as a rider. That's what I think has gotten me farther than I ever thought I could, because when I was at the other barn with my first trainer, I never thought that this soon, which is like a 2-year period, I would be jumping 2.9 at a regular basis at a canter with the equitation that I have. I don't think my equitation is the best that it can be, and I don't think my jumping is the best that it can be, and I think there's a lot of stuff that I can improve on. But it's so much more improvement than I ever thought I could do. And that's the important part, is to be proud of yourself, but also know that you're not at the stage that you could be. And that's why I want to keep working for it, because even though I'm at a really good point, I'm on the plateau, and all you can do is keep going higher. That is the end of my first video, everybody. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe and like, and I would love to see you back here. And if you like these face-to-camera videos, please comment and say that you like these, or DM me on my Instagram account at ZellaEquestrian, and I can do what you guys want me to. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.